Hello, everyone, and welcome to Level 35 of the War Puzzle Podcast. I'm Mark, and joining me once again after a little absence last week is my brother, Colin.
What up?
All right, Colin, let's get right into it this week. We're focusing this week. I know we've done our vacation games, our portable games, right? We did that back in the summer, some good games to take with you on the go and that kind of thing. And, that was a good list that we had going there, but we were kind of all over the place as far as it wasn't really my favorite game list. It was kind of good games to have with you kind of thing.
Yeah. I only had, we're doing this other list now. I only have two of the same games from my old list.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of thing with me, right? So this week, for anyone that hasn't figured it out, this week we are doing our top 10 3DS list. Now, I know we did our top 10 Wii U games, and this one's going to go a little bit differently because, well, quite frankly, there are way more 3DS games, and I don't know what you have on your list. Nope. You don't know what I have on my list.
Yeah.
And we're not even...
Oh, keep going, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was going to say, we're not even really aiming to try for a consensus. Now, and I think this is what you were going to say, if we do have similar games, maybe we can.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If we have similar games, maybe we'll do a consensus.
Yeah. And we'll see how fast we get through the list. But we'll, I guess, do you want to just jump into it? Now, actually, before we jump into it, let's go. Do you have your top 10 playtime list, solely based on what you've put the most time into?
No, I don't. I mentioned this before on the podcast, but when I got the new 3DS XL and I didn't transfer over my my old 3DS data to my XL right away, and then I actually purchased Shovel Knight when I was away on vacation. And then I was like, crap, I didn't transfer my thing. So then I called Nintendo, and they were like, yeah, we'll transfer everything over. And basically the only things that transferred over were the games. So
right.
They
transferred over your purchases.
Yeah, my purchases. So I don't have... I had to make a new Nintendo ID. I don't have any of the old playtime data for any of my games. But I can pretty much guarantee Smash Bros., Animal Crossing, and... I'd probably say Super Mario 3D World Super Mario 3D Land are my top three played.
Right. Okay. Well, my top 10, really quickly run through this list of playtime, is Animal Crossing's on top. Now, I thought I have 160, 170 hours or something like that into Animal Crossing. I thought that was impressive until Loren came up with... She has 234 hours in Animal Crossing right now.
Didn't she say she was going to restart?
She did. She's been playing it all week. She cleared a 230-some hour city, and she started fresh.
Oh, my God. I just feel like Animal Crossing is not a game to ever reset ever.
I know. Yeah.
There's there's no reason to do it, I guess. I guess if you want it everything brand new, but why? You work so much to get what you have.
I don't know. She kind of felt like a fresh start, and that's she was turning over a new leaf. Terrible pun for the day. All right. Anyway, so yeah, she's 234 hours, and that was yesterday. I'd say she probably hit 235 hours because she had the day off today. So, so blew me right out of the water. And I know Bobby's playtime is way up there. And once again, just before I move on, I have to thank Bobby for coming on last week. That was a fun time.
Yeah, thanks for filling the spot.
Yep.
Just back on the Animal Crossing thing, I remember people posting on the Geek Guru Facebook page pictures of the time played, and I think it was some people had 400, maybe even over 1,000 hours.
That's crazy.
I'm not positive, crazy. But if you guys are listening to this and you do, post it to our page. I want to see the picture because I just think it's nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's just crazy. Not because it's not a good game, and I don't think I know you could put that amount of time into it, but just I don't know, maybe my playtime's more limited and I need to kind of spread it out a little bit, but crossing the 200 hour mark on anything is just kind of mind blowing for me. So So there's that. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Number 2 for me is Ocarina of Time 3D. Number 3 is Smash Brothers. Number 4 is Super Mario 3D Land. 5 is Mario Kart 7. 6 is Pokemon X, and I really didn't think I put that much time into Pokemon X. I was really surprised when I saw that.
Cool.
Number 7 is Mario Golf World Tour. I've always been a big fan of the Mario Golf series on portable. For some reason, I never pick it up on a console, but portable, it's like, yeah, sign me up, take my money.
Yep.
Number 8, Super Mario Brothers 2, or new Super Mario Brothers 2. 9 is Zelda, Link Between Worlds, and number 10, Luigi's Mansion 2. I played and replayed that game. I find it delightful. So that's my top 10 list, purely based on time, the amount of time played, and I did actually skip something. I've put a lot of time into Street Pass. I left that off the list, but it's I think in my top 3.
Holy.
I've spent a lot of time with like the puzzles and street passing people and collecting the puzzle pieces and playing those little mini games and the DLC mini games and all that kind of stuff, changing the hat that I'm wearing and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, over the course of, however long we've had 3DS since the Ambassador days, right? Like
I had it day one. I walked into Future Shop. I was actually working there at the time, and I walked in, bought it on a Sunday, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that.
But you're talking about Street Pass games. I was a huge fan of Street Pass games and collecting the puzzle pieces, and I had tons of them. Also didn't carry over onto my file, so I literally don't play it anymore. I don't touch it.
Ouch.
Because everything got erased.
That is devastating.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna start over 2 or 3 years of game stuff and puzzle pieces. There's just no way.
Yeah, no, not a chance. Not a chance. No, that's understandable. So, you want to jump into the top 10s?
Yeah, I want to see how different yours is.
All right. Well, let's start off with your number 10.
My number 10. These are in order, by the way. Luigi's Mansion. The new, what's it called? New Moon?
Yeah, I think so. Something
Moon. Anyway, Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS, number 10 for me.
Okay. All right. That one actually does not make my list. It got bumped. It would have been around 10, but what makes that number 10 for you?
I don't know. I never really played the first one, and then I saw the commercials and stuff for the trailers for the new one for the 3DS, and I was like, well, that looks pretty cool, and then I got it, and it's basically a really, really fun, like, pick up and play, put it down after, I don't know, couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes, you can play a level, go through part of a castle, and then you go talk to that guy, and it's really I don't know, charming, I guess, with the
it really is.
What's the doctor's name? He's like
Professor Egad or something like that.
Yeah, that guy's pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway, I just really like it. I always liked Luigi, and he got his own game again, and it just I just really like that game.
Yeah, it is a great game, and I was kind of sad that it didn't make my list because obviously, like I said, it was one of my most played games, and a few of my most played games are not on the list, and we'll see that. But Luigi's Mansion 2 was one that was very, very close to making the list, and I really enjoyed it too. I found it like so hilarious, just the animations and the little details, like him humming along to the music.
Yeah, it was very charming.
Actually, kind of shivering. It was really, really well done. It was like playing a Pixar movie or something like that. Like it was just really, really good to watch. And play, and really, really good one. So good number 10. My number 10 is Gunman Clive.
Okay.
And it just because
the first one?
I find it, the first one. The second one is really, really good, but I haven't put enough time into it to judge it. Now I did beat it, but I've gone back and beaten Gunman Clive, the original one, with different characters on different difficulties, and it's just one of those games that like you can blow through it fairly quickly the first time around. But it's very, very, solid platforming, solid shooting, just really fun. just all around. It's just one of those little tiny games. It's perfect for a handheld. Now the collection is out on the Wii U. I haven't picked that up. The HD collection comes with both games. But the game's only a couple of bucks. It's really just kind of small and light, and like I said, just kind of exactly the kind of game that makes 3DS kind of different and weird and just delightful. So that made my number 10. And that's the one that bumped Luigi off.
I haven't even played that game, so maybe I'll check it out. If it made your your top 10 list, I'll have to check it out.
It is, and with you liking Mega Man so much, you need to play this.
But that might be the reason why I don't like it, though.
You will, I guarantee it. All right, number 9.
Number 9 for me is Fire Emblem for 3DS. I don't remember the name of it. Awakening. Fire Emblem Awakening.
Fire Emblem Awakening. All right.
Now, the reason I put this a little bit far down my list, because it's probably a lot of people's favorite 3DS game, or very close to their favorite. Mm-hmm. I'm not a strategy RPG player at all, and this game kind of I don't know. It's really intriguing. The cutscenes are awesome, and it actually made me play a strategy RPG and made me appreciate them. And now I have a handful of them on my PC, which I actually really enjoy, like XCOM Enemy Unknown. What else do I have? Banner Saga, stuff like that. So this kind of really was the icebreaker for me into strategy RPGs, and I just think it's probably the best. Well, I haven't played many, but it's the best one I've played.
Nice. That's not on my list. I haven't played that game. So
you haven't played
great things. Nope. I played the demo.
Oh wow,
that's about it. I know. I'm not.
I thought you were a Fire
big,
Emblem fan.
No, I've never played a Fire Emblem game before.
Oh, okay.
No. The closest I've played stuff like Advance Wars and that kind of thing, and I really got into those games.
You were obsessed with Advance Wars.
Super obsessed with it, and I keep. You know what? Fire Emblem's one of those games that I know I'll like. I know I'll enjoy. I know I should pick it up, and I just never have. Because everything I've heard is you get super addicted and pump a ton of hours in, and I tend to avoid those games.
Yeah, you can make babies.
Yep. So that's that. Number 9 for me was a tough decision, and I'm still tossing back and forth even as I say this. I have 2 games written down, Mutant Mudds and Gunvolt, and I can't decide between the 2 of them. And I still don't know which one I'm going to go with. I think maybe Gunvolt gets the thing there just because it came with a free 8-bit version of itself.
That was really funny, yeah. I like that game.
I thought was fantastic. It's a tough game. It's really cool. It's very stylistic. It reminds me of old Super Nintendo games. But the effects and stuff are a little bit better. And then, like I said, came with an 8-bit version of itself that was
it was a different game. Mighty Gunvolt.
Well, it was a whole different game. Yeah, it was. I shouldn't say an 8-bit version. It was an 8-bit
separate game completely.
Separate game. Yeah, a whole other bonus game that was done in like Mega Man style. So I think that game was great. Mutant Mudds though, I thought the 3DS version was the definitive version because you're jumping back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played
the planes. And I've played that on a couple of other consoles, and it just does not hold up as well, I think, as it does on the 3DS. So that one was really good. So I don't know which one I'm gonna give this to. Yeah, I'll go Gunvolt, I guess.
Gunvolt below Mutant Mudds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, and technically, I guess I should knock Gunman Clive off the list and put Mutant Mudds in number 10, but let's just keep going how that is.
All right. That's funny. Your final or your last 3 games are digital downloads only.
Yeah,
they're eShop
games.
Games.
They are not the only indie eShop games on my list either. Just wait.
So I don't think we're going to be able to do a consensus just even by these number 8, 9, and 10.
No,
so there's no point of that. But I also think I want to point this out that your number 9 and number 10 are both very heavily influenced by Mega Man, and I have no Mega Man style games on my list. And
oh wow,
that's my jam.
That's really weird. Yeah.
But like I said, I think it's because Mega Man itself is so perfect, and I like to play it on consoles. I have Mega Man 2 on 3DS. I do not like it.
Right,
I don't
that'd
like
be
the
like
cramped controls.
Right, like me saying there's no Mario clones or anything on my list because Mario's Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. All right, what's your number 8?
Number 8, Bravely Defaults.
All right,
probably
another game I have not played.
Yeah, I knew you didn't play this. Probably the best Japanese RPG that I played on the 3DS, and it is really good. It looks amazing. I remember I showed you if you're in a town and you just stand still, it like zooms out.
Yeah, it's a really good looking game.
Oh, it's super. And then Bravely Second is coming out, I think, early next year, maybe the end of this year. I'm not sure.
Cool.
That game's going to be cool. 3DS kind of lacking. Well, I consider it lacking in Japanese RPGs
compared to the
DS,
GBA and DS. Yeah, absolutely.
A little upsetting. I wish they had some more original Japanese RPGs.
That's what the Vita's for, I guess.
They don't really have any either.
That's true.
They have
a couple of stellar ones, but that's about it. Yeah. All right. So my number 8 is Ocarina of Time 3D. Don't think I really even need to say much more about that game. The reason it's low on my list is because the other games were fantastic, in my opinion, that I have. So it is a remake. I'll give you a preview. There's another Zelda game higher up on my list that knocked this one down a bit. So.
Yep, me too.
So that's that.
My number 7 is Ocarina of Time, and for the exact same reason, it's a fantastic game. It is a remake, so I put a little bit higher up. And there's another Zelda on my list that is I consider far superior.
Yep. All right.
Also known as my favorite Zelda game.
We'll see how far that lands on both of our lists, but right now let's go to number 7.
That was my number 7.
Oh, right. Sorry. My number 7 is SteamWorld Dig.
Cool.
Because it's awesome, and I've played it over and over again. It's very kind of Metroid-ish style, but not in an annoying way. Like it's a really, really solid game.
It is, yeah. I only have it on Steam. I don't have it on 3DS. It would be perfect for portable gaming, but it's fun on Steam still. I haven't beaten it yet, but it is really, really good.
Yeah, and that's why it's on this list, because and I've said this on the show multiple times, and I've said this to you. It was like a good book, and when you can't put down a good book, it's great that you have it in that portable book style. And I felt like SteamWorld Dig on the 3DS was just the same. I've played it through on PS4 or whatever, and sitting there with a controller is a great experience. But it was on 3DS first. And I think its home is on 3DS, and that's why it's on this list, in this spot. And it's a really solid game. And do you want to take a break right now to maybe say something?
Yep, give her.
All right, so we're very excited on SteamWorld, mentioning SteamWorld Dig, that we're actually going to be interviewing Image and Form coming up really, really soon. So I think if all goes according to plan, that's going to be next week's episode. If plans shift around, don't hold us to that. We may have a different episode, but very, very soon we're going to have someone
guests
from Image and Form. Yeah, special guests, possibly 2, definitely 1 from Image and Form, talking about SteamWorld Dig, talking about the upcoming SteamWorld Heist, which is also coming out first on the 3DS, and I can't flippin' wait for that game.
Is that a strategy game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, them coming on the show and agreeing to do the interview has absolutely no bearing to this game making it on my list. If they just told us off and said they're never going to be on the show, this would still be on my list.
Yeah, and it's not on my list, so it's not like.
Yeah, no, it's they're not being like, hey, you guys need to make some kind of a list or something with us on it. That's not the reason. And I mean, if they were doing that, they'd probably be higher than number 7.
Yeah, true.
But there are so many fantastic games on the 3DS. And I love this game so much. The reason it is number 7 is because it is quick, and I mean, like I said, I've beaten it a couple of times and still haven't put in the amount of time that I've put in some of these bigger amazing quality, just these like AAA crazy titles. And the rest of my list, for the most part, is our big first party Nintendo stuff for the most part.
I think we might have very similar top fives. That's my guess.
Most likely. I'm going to guess so. So let's hear your number 6.
Number 6. Now, I'm going to make a prediction that we have the same number 6. I could be way off. You might not even have this game. Pokemon X and Y.
That's not on my list.
I knew you were going to cut it. I had a feeling it was either going to be number 6 or not at all.
It's that was another one very similar to Luigi's Mansion. Like I said, I was surprised that I put so much time into that game. And it was simply because that game was so good, but after I finished it, I really had no desire to kind of keep going back and collect them all. I think I kind of burnt myself out from Pokemon over the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really enjoyed it.
It just
still
didn't make my list. I still did obviously very much enjoy it because it was the number 6 most played game of like on my 3DS. But I just felt like it didn't really, I don't know, felt like it didn't need to make the list. It would definitely make my top 20. Actually, it's probably very, very close within that 13. I said, I've bumped Luigi's Mansion down. That'd be another very, very close one.
Yeah. I just think it's perfect portable game. I just really liked it. They changed a lot of stuff. It's still not how exactly I want it. Like the control is still a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Where are we? Number 6.
You're number 6.
For me. Yep. And I'm wondering if this one's further up on your list. I have Shovel Knight for number 6.
Shoot, this is not on my list.
That moment of silence is
about
you.
Shovel
Like, I know you did because I just that moment of silence just said it all. That was it. That was like deafening.
I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm just leaving it.
All right. Well, Shovel Knight is another game very much like SteamWorld, and I toss back and forth between 6 and 7 of Shovel Knight and SteamWorld Dig, because I find they're two great examples of two fantastic indie developers or small developers, that made amazing games that really kind of took off and found a home there, and they're just like, to me, that's still the definitive place to play Shovel Knight. I put more time into Shovel Knight on my 3DS than I did on the Wii U, and it's just one of those amazing games that we've talked about so much on the show that I don't think I need to keep going.
Yeah, and I said that was my game of the year last year, personally. So Let's everyone just pretend Shovel Knight is my very close to number 1. It's number 1.2 in your hearts.
You can do the same thing with Mutant Mudds and Gunvolt, because I kind of cheated and kind of kept going back and forth, and since you it slipped, we'll forgive you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just know that I really love that game. Number 5 for me was Mario Kart 7.
Hey, me too.
Woo.
Look at us go.
See, I said we're going to have very similar top 5 games.
Very similar.
So we might be able to do a consensus top 5.
Maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see how similar we are.
I'm thinking it might be the best Mario Kart.
It's one of them, certainly.
It has awesome stages. It's awesome to play. It looks awesome still. It has the multiplayer. It has balloon battle.
Yep.
It has the level that everyone wants that Mario Kart 8 doesn't.
Yep.
So that's my number 5, and for obvious reasons.
Great. Yep. Ditto. Agreed. Completely. Don't even need to say anything more. Number 4.
Smash Bros.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We might not be able to come to a consensus.
All right. This was very much higher up my list until I started thinking about how I played with my 3DS and like what I spent a lot of time doing. Even though Smash Bros right now is my number 1 played game on my XL.
Right.
But it's definitely not number 1 if I combine my old 3DS in this one.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 4 is Super Mario 3D Land.
Okay, that's my number 3.
Okay.
We're gonna have this.
That one was number 3 for me for a while, and then I moved it down.
So wait,
because my top 3.
what's your number 4?
My number 4.
Oh yeah,
Mario
Super
3D
Mario.
Land.
Okay, so your number 3.
So
I know your top 3.
Okay, so 5 is Mario Kart 7. 4 Super Mario 3D Land. What's your number 3 then?
Mario 3D Land.
Okay, all right. So my number 3 is Link Between Worlds.
Okay, okay. All right.
So all right, you see where I'm going with this now?
Yep.
Okay. So Link Between Worlds, I'm guessing, is either your number 2 or number 1?
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is my number 1. Smash Bros is your number 1. We both have Animal Crossing as number 2.
That is correct.
Yeah, I could tell. I just knew.
Thanks for playing. Yeah.
Final answer.
So yeah, that's it. So this was really hard.
We probably just confused. Hold on. We probably just confused people. So I'm gonna run down my top 5, and then Mark's gonna run down his. My number 5, starting at 5 all the way to 1. Mario Kart 7, Smash Bros, Mario 3D Land, Animal Crossing, and A Link Between Worlds is my number 1.
Excellent. All right. Do you want to say anything else about your top 5 there? Like about the games, why you chose that order, all that kind of stuff?
I'll just run through them quick. Mario 3D Land is one of the best. Actually, it's probably the best handheld Mario game. Like solely for a handheld.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's got so many stages.
Console quality Mario game in your hand.
And Smash Bros is Smash Bros in your hand. Animal Crossing New Leaf is just, I don't know, it's Animal Crossing, it's handheld, you can play it forever, as we already mentioned earlier. And then A Link Between Worlds is actually my favorite Zelda game, and I just played the hell out of that game. I loved it so much, and it's by far my favorite 3DS game that I've played.
Nice. Excellent. Well, my top 5, Mario Kart 7, again, fantastic, handheld Mario Kart, maybe the best Mario Kart that's out there right now. It's just great. Number 4, Super Mario 3D Land. Like we said, it's Mario in the palm of your hand, and it's fantastic. I was playing it again the other night, just kind of thinking about this list and going through, and I was like, I need to play that game again, and it is so good. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Link Between Worlds. My top 3 was tough. That was a rough go. Actually, my top 5 was, but these 3 especially, and I was tossing Animal Crossing down and putting Link up, and then tossing both down, and Smash Brothers was flipping around everywhere. So number 3, Link Between Worlds. It's amazing, and I could definitely move that up. Number 2, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is meant to be on handheld. We've played them on console, we've played them on handheld, and New Leaf is the definitive version of Animal Crossing. It takes everything that was great about the old games, minus NES carts in the first one.
Yeah. Now you're saying this, I agree, but I really, really want to see one on the Wii U. And there's probably like 24 things I would like changed about New Leaf that they could change and implement into the console, especially with the screen on the controller.
Definitely. And you see that in Happy Home Designer, and Bobby was talking about it last week, where you can move furniture around and that kind of stuff. And that was always so cumbersome in everyone. But now that there's a touch screen and that kind of stuff, you can move it around. So definitely see that in future versions. But that's still number 2 for right now. And Smash Brothers for number 1, because I've said it again. I've said it before. If you told me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that we'd be playing Smash Brothers on a handheld and it would hold up, I would have laughed in your face and told you to get out of my house. Like, it was just something I never thought would work until it did. And CaperCon, I think, proved, for me anyway, that the 3DS can hold its own.
Yeah, you won a couple of matches using it.
I won a couple of matches, yeah. So I don't think we've talked about this on the show, but we went up to the Smash Brothers tournament. We didn't participate in it because we were busy with the panel and all that kind of stuff, and running around doing a bunch of different things. But we went up afterwards, and they were just kind of having free time, and a bunch of guys that were playing in the tournament were there, and they had a few controllers. So Colin grabbed one of the good ones, and it was, for me, it was like between this ratty, busted controller or the 3DS that I had in my back pocket. So I said, you know what? I'll use the 3DS. And it was kind of those, like one of those moments where everyone just kind of turns and the room goes silent. It's like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
those guys were really good too.
They were good. And yeah, so it was like, yeah, we're just going to judge you and kick your ass and keep moving on with the day. And the first round that we played, guess who won?
Yep.
So I didn't expect that. And I'm not like bragging or anything like that. I'm just saying like the 3DS can hold its own against GameCube controllers, Wii U Pro controllers, whatever the hell you're using. It works, and the game itself works. It works as a controller for the Wii U game, and that's why it's the top for me, and it's quickly climbing my list of most played. I don't think it's going to top Animal Crossing, but it's within a couple of hours of Ocarina of Time 3D, so it is very, very quickly going to become my second most played game on my 3DS.
Yeah, and it's funny you said like even 10 years ago you wouldn't believe it. I don't know if you remember, but when this game was coming out, like literally like the week before, people were still like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be... like literally days before it came out, people still didn't believe it could happen.
Well, that's true. Like that's a good point. Like, yeah, even I think at this point last year,
yeah, you were just like,
I still had my doubts. Like
it's just going to be kind of a crappy demo, and it's just going to be like a $40 demo before the Wii U comes out. Yeah. And I've still played the 3DS one more than the Wii U.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess it was out at this time last year. It came out last summer, right?
I don't remember. It was definitely out around before this time because we played Thanksgiving.
Right.
Against Cole.
Okay, so that's a good point. So this time a year and a half ago, I was still having doubts right before it came out. But you get the point. It's a surprise title. So that's it. Quick rundown of our top 10. For me, number 1, Smash Brothers. Number 2, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Number 4, Super Mario 3D Land. Number 5.
Did you say 3?
Oh, shoot. Number 3, sorry, Link Between Worlds. Number 4, Super Mario 3D Land. Number 5, Mario Kart 7. Number 6, Shovel Knight. Number 7, Steam World Dig. Number 8, Ocarina of Time 3D. Number 9 is Mutant Mudds. And number 10, Gunman Clive.
All right, my number 1, Zelda Link Between Worlds. Number 2, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Number 3, Mario 3D Land. Number 4, Smash Bros. Number 5, Mario Kart 7. Number 6, Pokemon X or Y. I chose Y, by the way. 7, Ocarina of Time. 8, Bravely Default. 9, Fire Emblem. And 10, Luigi's Mansion.
Excellent. All right, so we want to hear your top 10. If you think we're crazy for our lists, if you have something completely different, let us know. Follow us, go to our Facebook page or Twitter, or email us, thewarpwhistle@outlook.com. I think that's the first time we said that on the show.
Yes, it is.
But it's existed for a while. And let us know, or leave us a comment in...
I love lists, by the way. I don't know if you know.
Yes, lists are fun. So let us know what you think of our list. Let us know your own top 10 list. The Geek Guru, they just did them on the Geekcast a couple of weeks ago, and they had vastly different lists than we did, especially Toby. Had a couple of just crazy games that he had. Remember the Tom Clancy game that came out very early on the 3DS? I think you had that, right?
I do have it, yeah. And I don't know if it was something wrong with my cart or if it's the game in general, but that game crashed on me a lot to the point where I never played it again. And it would crash. It would crash like I'd be playing like a mission for like 35 minutes, and I would get to the end, and the game would crash.
Oh, that's devastating. Well, that made his top 10 list. So
it was a great game. That was another great strategy game. Actually, that probably bring me in more than Fire Emblem did. But since it crashed so many times, I was like, I'm never playing a strategy game again.
Brought you right out of it. Yeah. Anyway, whoa, there's Stella. So she's telling me to wrap this up, so we will. Let us know. And if you have any questions for Image and Form that you want us to try to hit in, get them out right now. I'm going to post this episode up very, very quickly, so hopefully you'll get the questions to us in time, and we might ask some questions while we're there. Thank you very much for listening. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the rest of the usual stuff. Anything we do is always posted on Facebook, so that's probably the best place, and Twitter. And thank you, as always, for listening.
See ya.